Good morning. Welcome to JP's Morning Brief. This is James Pierce. This is for May 26, 2026. Good morning. I hope y'all didn't hear me say what a while ago. The reason why I was saying what was I hit a button and Rumble Studio took me out of my link, but I was able to get back into it. I survived. Welcome to the Morning Brief. Boy, it's going to be a big day here in Texas. We'll cover that and more in just a minute. As we get started, everybody's online. What I'm talking about is Facebook and ScrewTube and X and then Rumble also. Rumble is my primary always. So click that follow button as we're getting started and give us a like for the podcast for the day. And then chat. Feel free to chat. We got plenty of room in the chat. Chat. I'm the only one in there right now. Ricky may be joining me in a few minutes. We'll see. Great guy. But we had a pretty good weekend. We went into the Central Texas Veteran Cemetery this last weekend from Friday through last night. The cemetery was open at night because they eliminate the grave sites of all the buried people there that are combat casualties. And I do have a personal friend of mine that was buried there. He died on January 31st, 2008. And the day I flew home on R&R, but he died at the corner of Route Oilers and Route Vernon. If you were in Iraq, you know where Vernon Oilers is. It's over by Pluto. And right outside of an Iraqi police station, an IP station. But and it's over with. Memorial Day is over with. It's the one day we celebrate our war dead, and I can't believe it's been 18 years since he's been gone. But that's what we did, and then yesterday afternoon, we had a celebration here at the house to remember them. Okay, and it wasn't like, oh, let's have a Memorial Day barbecue. No, if you listen, when we prayed for our dinner, it was about the memory of those that were not able to be with us. So that's all what it's all about. But we had fun. We had a friend of ours. She's in the Army. She came over and had dinner with us too. But we had a good time. I watched the entire series of Band of Brothers yesterday. That was, man, I love watching Band of Brothers. I like episode 2, The Day of Days, is my favorite episode in it. But okay, so let's get on before we run out of time because it's already 6:33. So we changed our format a little bit. I'll tell you a bit about it in just a second. There we go. The Armament Shop. Whether you're looking for your first firearm, upgrading your setup, or need expert service, Jason at the Armament Shop in Coppers Cove is Coppers Cove's premier source for all things shooting. Browse our wide selection of pistols, rifles, and shotguns, backed by top-tier gunsmithing and for repairs, along with reloading supplies and professional cleaning to keep your firearm in peak condition. Need a transfer? We make FFL transfers fast, easy, and affordable. Need your CHL? JC can handle those classes. He has over 3 decades of experience. Visit the Armament Shop today at 115A West Avenue D in Coppers Cove, or call or text 254-560-2023, or visit www.armamentshop.com. That's www.armamentshop.com. The Armament Shop. Your safety, our priority. All right, before we go on and get started with the Iran update, I just wanted, so I talked with some friends over the last week or so, and we came up and and a buddy of mine saw my podcast mentioned elsewhere, and they were this lady was talking bad about me doing the America 250, and I sounded like a history teacher. Well, uh, let the facts be known. I'm a certified high school history teacher. Okay, so I can do this. She didn't like it, but I thought about it, considered it a little bit. I'm I will not let go of the America 250 during the JPA report because our history in our country, especially 250 years ago, is extremely important. But I reconsidered on the morning brief because it is only a 30-minute format. And then Ricky and Greg, um, my wife, and I believe Rachel was involved. We were just talking about it, and they said just keep it with the JPA report if you change anything. So we are going to, for right now at least, unless I don't feel comfortable doing it anymore, the we'll leave the America 250 just for the JPA report and just basically do news for the morning brief. All right, so we'll go from there. So Iran update. So Project Freedom, it's in suspension because we got these talks going on right now. The U.S. attacked mine laying boats and missile sites in Iran yesterday. The place where they mainly attacked was Bandar Abbas, which is on inside the Strait of Hormuz. Oil prices dropped significantly last night. Uh, Trump is giving peace uh, every chance possible. Iran's World Cup team, they moved their club training site from Tucson, Arizona, down into Mexico. Um, let's see, Beirut suburbs are evacuating their homes due to ongoing violence between Hezbollah and Israel. There was, the president said, "No dust, no dollars," and that is the scene of very intense negotiations right now. Uh, Iran's delegation in Qatar for peace talks. Hezbollah is still attacking Israel through drones. They're using drones to attack Israel. I don't know. Maybe they got a big bank account, but they're not getting any money from Iran. So someone is supplying them and funding them, or unless they just have that big of a stockpile. Israel found another tunnel complex just the other day. It was 300 feet long and fully equipped. All right. Uh, Israel uh, Israel orders strike on Hezbollah because of drone strikes. I just said that. Iran's new Security Council warns of no retreat in a Saddam-style response, which is Iraq, if you don't remember, because Saddam Hussein's been dead like 24 years now. Wow. Um, Iran's president orders internet reopened after 3 months. All right. So, oh yeah, and then Brent crude oil is at $98.61 a barrel. West Texas Intermediate is at $92.17 a barrel. And the Dow Jones closed Friday at 50,579.70. It was up 294.04 points. All right, that's your Iran update. Now, um, onward to election day. The day is election day here um, in Texas. So to give you a clue, I got this right here. And I just put it together through AI. But it just shows you here in Coryell County, we have 4 voting places that you can go vote at from 7 a.m., which is 20 minutes from now. Polls open in Texas. You can vote in 2 places in Coppers Cove and 2 places in Gatesville. Don't forget to go vote. Meanwhile, back here, so these are the people, and I've said this several times. I'll do it one more time. But so Uh, for U.S. Senate, I'm supporting Ken Paxton. For Texas Attorney General, I'm supporting Mays Middleton. Texas Railroad Commission, Beau French. Um, Criminal Court of Appeals, Place 3, Allison Fox. Coryell County Judge is Rob Irwin. County Commissioner 2 is Scott Weddle. County Commissioner number 4 is Justin Smith. All right. So before we go, I'm going to read one more thing about this, and we got the rest of the news. Okay, where is my Gmail? Gmail's right there. This is what the Texas scorecard put out this morning. High stakes GOP runoff in the day's election. Texas Republicans are heading to the polls today for primary runoff elections featuring blockbuster contests for U.S. Senate and Attorney General. The marquee race pits four-term U.S. Senator John Cornyn against Attorney General Ken Paxton in what has become a referendum on Texas GOP politics. Cornyn narrowly led Paxton in the March primary, 42.5 to 40.8%, after U.S. Representative Congressman Wesley Hunt's entry split the vote and forced a runoff. I do believe if Wesley Hunt wasn't in there, Ken Paxton would have won, but I voted for Wesley Hunt. President Donald Trump endorsed Paxton last week, just one day after early voting began. Seeking to replace Paxton as Attorney General, State Senator Mays Middleton of Galveston faces U.S. Representative Chip Roy of Austin. Middleton finished first in March's primary with 39%, compared with Roy's 32%. The contest is forced who is more conservative and loyal to the MAGA agenda. Like I said, Middleton. But I can live with both people being Attorney General, okay? Well, regardless, Republican is going to get my vote. Incumbent Railroad Commissioner Jim Wright faces off with Beau French in a race that attacked significant donor money, with Wright receiving $500,000 from the casino lobby, while French has been heavily backed by conservative PACs. That should tell you where the vote should be going. It means Beau French. And then the last one we'll talk about is state runoff ballot. Also features two candidates seeking an open seat on the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals. Allison Fox, staff attorney for the court, led the March primary with 31.3% of the vote, and she's running against Thomas Smith, an assistant attorney general in Ken Paxton's office, and he finished at 30.7%. Well, that was a close race. All right. And then that was, I could live with either one of them either, but I'm supporting because Allison Fox is very popular around here. I voted for her in the first go around, and I'm going to continue to vote for her in this one right here. All right. So get out and vote. Voting starts in 16 minutes. If you haven't, my wife and I voted last Tuesday, I believe. All right. Matter of fact, this morning I got to go pick up someone and take them to go vote. He asked me last night if I can give him a ride. He wants to go to the Civic Center, so I'll take him over there. All right. So onward. No dust, no dollars. I hope everybody's having a good day. Since we're almost halfway through, don't forget to click the follow button and click the like button. All right. This looks like it's going to be a light day online. Well, we'll get through it. So this is from the Federalist. Here we go. White House, Iran gets nothing unless it gets rid of its nuclear stockpile. We're structuring this in such a way that they make commitments on the enriched stockpile, but They don't get a dime unless they deliver on their commitments, senior official said. The Trump administration negotiations with Iran do not include any pathway for the country to obtain a nuclear weapon. Case in point, no dust, no dollars. Nor will any potential deal give Iran billions of dollars and no strings attached handouts, a senior administration official said on Sunday, despite some Republican warmongers claiming otherwise. The senior official said that there will be zero resources to Iran unless and until they give the highly enriched uranium, stating no dust, no dollars. When reports about the deal with the Iranians came out last week, some hardline Republicans like Lindsey Graham and Ted Cruz, who appear uninterested in ending the conflict, quickly took to social media to counter-signal the deal. Ted Cruz, he's our senator here in Texas. I'm deeply concerned about what we are hearing about an Iran deal being pushed by some voices in the administration, Cruz said. If the result of all that military action is to be an Iranian regime still run by Islamists who chant death to America, now receiving billions of dollars, being able to enrich uranium. Okay, I'm going to stop there. Ted Cruz, stop. Just stop. Let the president do what he's doing. It's the art of negotiations and making decisions. You're a senator. You can't even rein in your majority leader to do the job he's supposed to be doing. Stick with doing the Senate job. All right. We'll stop right there for right now. All right. Before I go off on a tangent, and Ricky tells me I need to be careful because I'm going to stroke out up here. And then more stuff on the White House. Mike Pompeo, he used to be the Secretary of State in the previous Trump administration, decided he didn't like the way the president was going, so he wanted to voice his concerns also. An unelected bureaucrat. All right. Former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo ripped the reported contents of a potential Iran agreement that's still being negotiated by President Trump and his team, warning that the emerging framework resembles the Iran deal from the Obama administration. Some reports said that Iran and the U.S. might agree on a 60-day ceasefire while negotiations over Tehran's nuclear program continue. No, the president said there will be no nuclear program, no ifs, ands, or buts. The deal being floated with Iran seems straight out of the Wendy Sherman, Robert Malley, Ben Rhodes playbook Pompeo wrote on X. He said the U.S. should deny Iran access to money and take out enough Iranian capability so it cannot threaten our allies in the region. Pompeo's criticism drew a fierce response from the White House Director Stephen Schong. He said Mike Pompeo has no idea what the blank he's talking about, Chang wrote on X. He should shut his stupid mouth and leave the real work to the professionals. He is not read into anything what's happening, so how would he know? Unless someone's talking about something they shouldn't. I like Stephen Schong. He's a really cool guy. All right, next. They're here in yesterday. They're in the CD 35 congressional race. We were talking about last week about this one lady that she wanted to put MAGA people in the ICE detainment facilities and stuff like that. And then, but I forgot what her name was. So don't go vote for her anyway. Stay on the Republican side. But you still got to be careful on the Republican side who you vote for. So here over by San Antonio area, right? So we have an Air Force veteran. His name's Carlos de la Cruz, right? He is a military disabled veteran, 100%, like I am, and he just went off on his the guy that's challenging De La Cruz went off on him for being a disabled veteran and working because not all injuries are physical. Some of them are internal. Like me, I'll tell you, I got sleep apnea really bad, and I got it while I was in the military, and it's stress induced. I mean, some people don't agree with that, but it happens, right? A lot of military people get it, especially ones in leadership, because uh, lack of sleep on a constant basis, uh, intense stress time on a constant basis, and it's a whole thing. But so a Texas congressional race already marred by scandal is facing a new controversy after veterans condemned political ads sent ahead of Memorial Day weekend that mocked President Trump's backed veteran over his military disability. With days left in the bitter Republican primary, I printed this on the 23rd, which was 3 days ago. Um, with days left in a bitter Republican primary runoff between uh, John Lujan and Carlos de la Cruz of the Texas 35th, a mail ad sent this week by Lujan Aligned Political Action Committee Protect and Serve knocked Carlos de la Cruz over his disability status, referring him as the 100% disabled kickboxer. The ad rips into De La Cruz, an Air Force veteran who was deployed to Iraq and Afghanistan, suggestion he claims 100% disability to avoid paying any property taxes. Uh, the ad goes on to say that the VA defines 100% disability as for veterans whose conditions are so severe they result in total impairment. De La Cruz was physically fit enough to train in and operate a kickboxing gym and lists himself as a volunteer carpenter. Charlotte Nanier, an Air Force veteran and Wounded Warrior Project member, told Fox News that a disabled veteran herself, "This is the most shameful thing that I've ever pulled out of my mailbox." She emphasized to do this days before Memorial Day is a disgrace. Career politician John Lujan's team is doing his dirty work attacking a fellow veteran's wounds. She posted, adding, "He never wore the uniform a single day. He has no idea what these injuries cost, and he never will." In Nanier's opinion, a man with this little honor has no business near Congress. Um, she she's right. I mean, like I just said a while ago, not all injuries are visible. All right. Um, and then the Lujan said that it didn't respond. Okay, so before I go on to the next article, under Texas law, veterans deemed 100% disabled or individual unemployable by the Department of Veterans Affairs can receive total exemption from property taxes on their primary residence homestead. And more than 164,000 Texas veterans with 100% disability ratings are estimated to receive the state's full homestead property tax exemption, according to the Texas Disabled Veteran Property Tax Advocates, citing 2024 VA data. All right, so there's 164,000 of us in the state of Texas that don't pay property tax. So be it. Leave them alone. Because I know there's worse things that Mr. Lujan has probably done in his life besides serve his country. All right. We'll go on from there before I get all riled up. It's already 6:54. Where's Ricky to keep me on track, man? Okay, and again on Friday, our Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, was at West Point for their commencement address. Robert McGinnis, he's a retired lieutenant colonel, Army Ranger. He wrote an op-ed for Fox News, and this is what he wrote. On Saturday morning, Okay, yeah, Saturday's commencement. I watched the rain fall over the United States Military Academy as another generation of cadets march across Mitchie Field in the long gray line. The scene stirred memories I had not revisited in years. I graduated from West Point in 1973, and I tuned in partly to refresh my memory before a television interview later that day. By the end of the ceremony, something more important had happened. For the first time in many years, I heard a commencement address at the West Point that honestly spoke about God, duty, sacrifice, and war. The speaker was Secretary of War Pete Hegseth. Years ago, after retiring from the Pentagon, I joined the Family Research Council and eventually became Vice President for Policy. During the summer of 2000, we had several interns, including a young Princeton student and basketball player named Pete Hegseth. He was intelligent, personable, disciplined, openly grounded in his Christian faith. Even then, my children liked him immediately. Uh, Years later, I watched Pete Hegseth as a prominent television personality in Fox News, where I've spent many years as a military analyst. But beyond television, Pete served his country in uniform, deploying to Iraq and Afghanistan with the Army National Guard, and later advocating tirelessly for veterans. That background gave him credibility before the 994 graduates seated before him Saturday morning. Unlike many recent commencement speakers, he did not give a carefully sanitized speech meant to offend no one. Instead, he offered the future officers something they rarely hear from Washington: a candid account of the calling they had chosen. The centerpiece of Hegseth's address came from Isaiah 6:8. Whom shall I send, and whom will I go for us? Here I am, send me. The verse could hardly be more fitting. These young men and women are not simply, um, where am I? These young men and women are not simply collecting diplomas like graduates at most universities. They are becoming commissioned officers in the United States Army. Many will eventually lead soldiers into combat. Some will deploy to dangerous places within months. Some may never come home. The West Point has always understood that way. Founded in 1802 by President Thomas Jefferson, the Academy exists for one purpose: to produce leaders of character capable of defending our nation. Its graduates have fought in every major conflict from the Civil War through Iraq and Afghanistan. The motto, duty, honor, country, was not crafted for comfort or corporate success. Um, to close in and destroy the enemy with overwhelming force. That's what it means. We'll cover this later on. We're out of time. It's already 6:59, and I even cut the America 250 part out of this. I don't know what is going on. All right. So y'all will see me again at noon Central with the JPA report, and I will have time to cover the rest. All right. Let me get going on here. Let's see. Copy. I'm going to do a raid real quick. Raid us over to Vince, and I'm going to go watch it and write up the rest of the podcast. Thank y'all for tuning in today, though. I really appreciate it. So let me initiate. There we go. And this is James Pierce. I'll catch you on the flip side. I'm out. I'll see y'all at 12. Raid is in 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See ya.